What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Sunday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me on socials at Sports Talk Matt across all socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of it at Sports Talk Matt. This podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. Use the promo code JUICE. We are about to start a new campaign coming up on Monday of this coming week for Omaha Steaks. So if you want to take advantage of the end of season sale, that sale is going to end in the next couple of days. $30 off at checkout. Half off sale going on right now. We're about to get into 2024. New offer from Omaha Steaks. If you want to take advantage of this, JUICE is the promo code. $30 off at checkout for the end of season sale going on right now. 50% off plus an additional $30 off at checkout with the code JUICE at omahasteaks.com. Okay, good day yesterday. Could have been great. I'm kicking myself. We got the under right for the Dolphins game, but I did a 7-point teaser. I teased the Dolphins up to 12.5. I thought that was good. I was teasing the 7-point teaser to get below 3 for Buffalo because I'm worried about that game. So I wanted to pull that down below 3. So I did a 7-point teaser. I laid the 140 on it. That misses because the Dolphins Tua is so bad in the cold, so bad in the cold weather. I mean, the Dolphins defense couldn't tackle, but you can't, they're so banged up defensively. I thought they did pretty well actually against the Chiefs. Although that roughing the passer penalty, give me a break. It's the playoffs. Like, what are we doing? That set up a touchdown. If that was a field goal, then maybe we could have get that in there. It's possible we could have maybe got a last second touchdown or I don't know, that maybe the Dolphins felt like they would have been the game, but that touchdown to go up 26-7 was it. Final score, under comes in. Teaser misses, and we also missed on Texas, so that was down 2.5 units. We won 4 units with basketball coming in. The under hit. We got St. John's right. We got St. John's right. We got North Carolina right, and then I'm blanking on the other bet. We went 4-1. I'm blanking on the other bet. Oh, Houston. We got the Texans right at +2, so we got that right. So if you had done the teaser that I talked about on the podcast, giving the Texans +8 and then pulling or sending the total from 43.5 up to 49.5. If you did that cashed like I recommended last night. I should have just played the bet that I talked about, but I got on the live stream and I was starting to look at when the Bills game got moved. I was live on the air with Pat Fitzmaurice on our YouTube channel for our NFL live stream, and the game got moved, and I just kind of panicked. I went, man. And so I shouldn't have done that. That was my fault to do a bet like live like that. That was a bad play by me. So I gave a unit, 1.4 units back on that. But overall winning day. It's been a winning week. We're now up 7 units for the year on the podcast plays, which is awesome. Having a very nice week. So let's end it off here on a Sunday. I've got 3 bets in the NFL for today. 1 bet for the game on Monday, which I already gave out on the Discord channel. So hopefully you took advantage of it. And then I have got 1 college basketball bet for us here today on a Sunday. So let's start with the first game of the day with the Packers on the road at the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Green Bay this year on the overall 9-8 ATS. Dallas 10-7. 4-5 Green Bay on the road. 6-2 Dallas at home. Number is 7 or 7.5. You can pay to get off of 7. I don't mind that. Okay, I don't mind that. You could go and pay, it should be like 120 or so if you want to do that, but some is 125 depending on what your book's going to charge you for the half a point to move it off of 7, but don't go below 7, okay? If this number goes 6.5 in the morning, don't play this, okay? You don't go below 7. It's got to be 7. So we've seen the Packers beat the Bears and beat the Vikings and beat the Panthers in 3 straight weeks heading into the postseason to make the playoffs. Now, on the road this year, they beat Minnesota, they beat Carolina, they lost to the Giants in somewhat stunning fashion, but they beat the Lions in a really big game indoors. Beat them as 8.5-point dogs, kind of similar to this game. They lost to Pittsburgh on the road, they lost to Denver on the road, lost to Vegas on the road, but those games were early. They lost to Atlanta in a dome as 3-point dogs, lost by 1. They covered, and then they beat Chicago by 18. Dallas has been killing teams at home. But let me give you the home schedule. Now that we know what these teams were, okay? Jets, trash. Patriots, trash. Rams, playoff team. Okay, playoff team. Beat them pretty good. Beat them by 23. Good win there. Giants, trash. Commanders, trash. Seahawks, average. Eagles, what are the Eagles? 10-1 to losing the division. I mean, no team, I think since 1990, I believe it is, have gone 1-5, made the playoffs, and then won a playoff game that season. No A.J. Brown. What do we make of that? And then they beat Detroit by 1. They didn't cover. My point is, the schedule for the Dallas Cowboys at home has not been impressive. It just hasn't. Like, they haven't played anybody really. Like, Dallas on the road, I mean, okay, they played San Francisco. They lost by 32 points. You know, they played the Eagles on the road when they were good. They lost by 5. They went to Buffalo. They lost by 21. Took on Miami on the road, and they lost by 2. Like, when they've played good teams, I know on the road, they've lost. When they play crap teams at home, they win by a lot. Are the Dallas Cowboys deserving of being 7-point favorites in this game? No. I mean, no. I may be dead wrong, and Dallas may blow the doors off of the Packers. But Jordan Love and this offense is clicking. They got receivers coming back off of injury, which could be really, really big. I think Green Bay can win the game. I mean, I think they might win the game outright. I'm taking the 7 points. Green Bay, +7, 1.1 units. And watch the injury report, because it looks like Luke Musgraves is playing their really good tight end who is coming back off the kidney injury, which is tremendous for him. And that if they could somehow get Christian Watson, he looks like he's out still, okay? But Christian Watson, I don't know. It looks like he may be officially out, but if he could come back, it would be great. Jair Alexander, though, is a question. He is questionable with the shoulder. That's big. Left practice on Wednesday. Did not practice on Wednesday. That's not great, okay? That's your best cover corner. You need him to play. I think he's going to play, but you need him to play. Green Bay, +7, 1.1 units. Not done with this game. If you want to same game tease this, you can. You can give the Packers 13 points, take the total at 50.5, pull it down to 44.5, and bet over. You can go ahead and 100% do that if you would like. You want to add on. I'm just going to straight bet it and take the over. Why? Well, I think in order for Green Bay to be in the game, I think they're going to need to score, because I think Dallas is going to score on the Green Bay defense. I'm not in love with it, but the Packers were 7-2 to the over on the road this year. 7-2. At home, Dallas 5-3. In games of which they were on the road and they played in domes for Green Bay, Atlanta over by 8.5. Detroit on the road over by 4. Who else did they play on the road for a dome? Las Vegas, that game did go under. That was a 17-13 loss, but that was when Vegas was playing really good defense. So that's, I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock into that. But the game against Chicago, where they won 17-9 and the Bears weren't doing very much and the weather was a factor, the game went under. But that snapped a streak of 6 consecutive games that went over for the Green Bay Packers. 42.5, 39.5, 41, 37.5, 44, and 47 all went over, including that 47 number against Detroit, where went over by 4 points. Total is 50.5 here. For the Dallas Cowboys, they were at home against Detroit. Game went under. Remember that here in a second. The Detroit under. Remember that. Miami on the road, it went under. Buffalo, 49.5, it went under. Philadelphia, they won 33-13, it went under. But if you look back on some of the games in the regular season that were before the end of the year, well, against Seattle at home, flew over by 28.5 points. 47.5 was the total, flew over. Against Washington, total was 48, went over by 7 points. Against the Giants, it was 39, went over by 27 points. The Patriot game went under. Remember that? We were on the Patriot under 43, and the game fell 41 somehow. It was 38-3. I think Green Bay is going to be able to move the football. I think Green Bay is going to be able to throw the ball. And I think Green Bay is going to have an opportunity here, seriously, to win this game. I don't think this is, call it the Mike McCarthy whatever revenge game, and Mike McCarthy can't win playoff games. I also want Green Bay to win this game because I believe that Dallas would hire Bill Belichick to be the head coach if Mike McCarthy blows this at home and loses to Green Bay. The Green Bay defense is going to give up points. All right, they give up 20.6 points per game. It's a lot, okay? Cowboys give up 18.5. Obviously, they give up less points at home, but that's, skewed a little bit by like the Patriot game and whatnot. But Dallas's defense against the run's been pretty good. Dallas's defense against the pass has been okay. You can move the ball, through the air on Dallas. They are opportunistic. They get a lead, they force you to throw, and that's where they go pick six. And they've been very good at returning interceptions for touchdowns this year. Jordan Love's got to be careful, okay? Jordan Love's got to be careful not to get down 2 scores and then having to force the football in. That's when the game could get away from Green Bay, all right? They got to get off to a fast start, but I'm going to trust Matt LaFleur. I'm going to trust Jordan Love. I like this offense. Keep the game close, back and forth battle, kind of like a who's going to blink type of game, scoring on both sides. Over 50.5, Green Bay in Dallas for 1.1 units. Second game. So 2 bets on one game. If you don't want to have 2 bets on one game, you want to same game tease that, you can do that. But I'm going to try to limit my teasers here today. I don't really want to do that. I've been trying. That teaser yesterday burned me. It's really hard to tease games in the playoffs. It's just, it's hard. Rather just have a single game loss and move on to something else than having to go with back and forth and look at 2 different, it's already hard enough to win 1 bet in the playoffs, let alone win 2. Detroit's laying 3. Once this number came down to 3, I started to pay attention to the Lions. Everyone's on the Rams. Everyone. All right. Kyron Williams is going to run the ball. Do you know what the Lions do really well? I mean, yes, I know the Rams have an incredible run offense. I'll give you that. The Rams are a team late in the year could run on anybody. But this is the 3rd best rush defense in football in the Lions. Playing their first home playoff game since 1993. They haven't won a home playoff game since 1991. Do you know what was happening in 91, 92, 93? I was in high school. All right? I'm 46. Early 90s. That's the last time the Lions were winning a home playoff game. It's a long time ago. All right? Look at the gray. All right? It's a long time ago. 3rd in opposing rush yards. 2nd in opposing rush yards per game. I think the Rams are going to be one-dimensional. And that means Matthew Stafford's going to have to throw the ball to Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. I get you. I mean, you might go like, well, Matt, they can really do that. Yes, they can. All right? They can throw. Absolutely. But Stafford can also throw picks. Matthew Stafford, as the quarterback of the Lions, was 0-3 in the playoffs. Now, he's 4-0 as a quarterback with the Rams because they went and won the Super Bowl. He played 4 games so far. This is the second trek for Sean McVay and the Rams team in the playoffs. The Lions' atmosphere is going to be stupid. It's going to be so incredible. And they all want to yell at Stafford. I know he's really good. I get it. But I'm going to trust the Lions' defense to win this game. And I think they'll have a shot to do it. I don't think you want to trust Jared Goff. Okay, I'll give you that. But Gibbs and company run the rock. All right? Detroit, 4.6 yards per rush this year. That's 5th best in the NFL. 135 yards rushing per game. 5th best in the NFL. Okay? Run the ball. Get the lead. Run the ball. Keep the ball away from the Rams. Rely on your defense, stop the run, make them one-dimensional, turn the football over. That is your recipe for success. Everyone's on the Rams. I'm on the Lions. -3. Give me Detroit at home here by defense. That's why I'm not betting the over. I think there's a shot this game goes under. In a dome, everyone's betting over. Don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think this Lions defense is going to have something to say. Hutchinson and company got something to say about getting after Matthew Stafford and making his life a living heck tonight. So that's where I am with that. Okay, final bet. This bet is for Monday night, however. I gave it out on the Discord channel because the number might move, and I wanted you guys to get 3. I hope you got Tampa Bay +3 against the Eagles. A.J. Brown's out. Once he was out, the number moved. It's at 2.5. Let me see what the latest number is here for that game because I think it was 3 pretty much. not everywhere, but I wanted to make sure I jumped on. I give it to you in the Discord channel because I wanted to make sure you guys had it. If you want, guys, you're not in there, you got to be in there. BettingPros.com/chat to join in. And that number, okay, it's still 3 at DraftKings, so you can get 3. That's good. Tampa Bay +3. I don't need to explain too much of it, but I know Baker Mayfield is questionable. He's playing. Mike Evans is going to shred that defense. For the Eagles. Eagles just, no. Nick Sirianni might get fired. Jalen Hurts got all sorts of questions. What, a team that went 1-5 down the stretch is going to just like flip a switch and be like, yep, here we are in the playoffs. Let's go. It doesn't work like that, okay? Going on the road, they were, just like the Dolphins, right? Look at the Dolphins. Look at the way they played yesterday. Dolphins had everything. With 5 games left, everything was awesome for the Dolphins. And they tripped and stumbled and bumbled their way into the playoffs. Now they're done. Same thing's going to happen here on the road for Philadelphia, but that game is tomorrow. But I want +3. So you can bet it whenever you want, but I'm giving you that pick tomorrow because I don't want that thing to go below 3. +3, Tampa at home on Monday. I have no idea what to do with the Bills game. None. Like 0-zip, none. I have no idea what to do with the Bills game. I got to think about it. The moving of the venue, pushing it back, the weather being different. I don't know. It screws everything up. It really does. I was going to tease it down with the Dolphins game. That blew that up. I may same game tease it. I may pull it down to 39 and go over. I don't know. I'll give it to you on tomorrow's podcast. I'll tell you what I'm going to do for the Bills game. But right now, our NFL plays for today, Packers +7, over 50.5, Dallas and Green Bay, Lions -3. And I'll give you one college basketball bet here for today. KenPom has this game between Washington and UCLA as a 4-point win for Washington, 71-67. The line is 1.5. Opened at 3, was bet down. Why? I don't understand this. This is like Texas, and I got this wrong last time, okay? Texas on the road. I couldn't figure out why the line went against Texas. It did ultimately close at 6.5. It went back up. We played 5.5, but it missed because they lost the game by 3 outright. Nice win for West Virginia. Texas, they looked awful in that game. Even worse than West Virginia. I'm not sure anybody looks worse than UCLA. We just faded them with Utah. Now, they were on the road, and Utah beat them by 42 points. This is a home game for UCLA. But with the line being 1.5, and I have a Washington team that's been pretty good on the road, and all I need is Washington is just to win the game, basically. They're 10-6 on the year. They're 2-3 in the Pac-12. Last 2 games have been the 2 games they won. At home against Oregon State and at home against Arizona State. They lost at home to Oregon. They lost to Utah by 5. Did much better, 95-90, than what UCLA just did. And they lost to Colorado, 73-69. 4 straight wins for UCLA, 2 on the road, 2 at home. They lost to Stanford, 59-53. Lost to Cal, 66-57. I know Mac has been playing well. We've talked about him. The youngster's been playing well. But again, to reiterate how bad the offense is for UCLA, 343rd in effective field goal percentage, 241st in offensive efficiency, 243 in three-point percentage, 332nd in 2-point shooting percentage. There are 351 teams in D1 football, and this is D1 basketball, and this is where we are here. On the flip side, Washington's offense, 42nd in efficiency, 74th in field goal percentage, 80th in three-point percentage, 96th in 2-point percentage. It's 1.5. I know it's Pauley Pavilion. I know it's UCLA. Games on the Pac-12 network. It's going to be on at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So up against football, I know, but maybe just bet it and you just forget it and wait and watch and see what happens. But I'm laying the 1.5 points. Give me Washington, 1.1 units. Huskies on the road against UCLA to win the game, basically, for 1.1 units. Okay, so 3 bets today, 1 bet tomorrow for the NFL, and 1 bet going here for today in college basketball. So 4 units or so, 4.4 units going for us here on a Sunday as we look to close out the week with a good note. Packers +7, over 50.5 with the Cowboys, Lions -3, Washington -1.5 on the road against UCLA. And then the ad for tomorrow is Tampa Bay +3, also for 1.1 units. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. No live stream today, by the way. Remember, it's only on Saturdays now for the playoffs. No live stream today. Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.